Hello everyone, I'm Mark and I'm going to talk to you about stablecoin safety under L2 sequencer downtime. So I work at ChainSecurity. We are a blockchain auditing firm since 2017 and we work with the major players of the space. From my side, I'm a blockchain security engineer since 2 years. I worked with Circle, Aave, Velodrome, and Polymarket and many others. Initially, I come from a Web2 background, but I've also done some like baseband fuzzing. So if you want to talk about it after, happy to talk about it. But yeah, let's talk about risk of L2 sequencer downtime. So for crypto-backed over-collateralized stablecoins, but more generally for lending markets, we have this assumption that the price feed is up to date, right? But also that we don't have big price jumps. So if you want to represent that is why we have LTV, loan to value, right? So if you have a collateral with 90% LTV, it means that we implicitly assume less than 10% price jump, price drawdown, so that we don't create bad debt. So those assumptions are very important, but and we can ask ourselves, do they always hold? And for example, for L2s, right? Like ETH has this, Ethereum chain has this liveness guarantee, and L2s inherit from the security of Ethereum, but don't actually inherit from all the liveness properties, as we will see. So a sequencer, basically, to sum up, is this big machine that produces blocks, and it's like centralized entity usually, and it will just produce blocks and advance the L2 chain. But if this sequencer fails, no more blocks are produced, and now like our prices are frozen, and we have to wait until recovery. And this basically breaks the assumptions, right? Because now our price might not be up to date when the sequencer comes back up, but also when we recover and update our price, we might have a larger price jump than we would want to. So assumptions made for like L1 do not hold for L2. And by L1 here, I mean mainnet. And we will see that now, right? So assume we first start with the real price and our oracle price being the same, right? And when the sequencer fails, the oracle price stays the same, right? Until it goes back up and the transaction comes in to update our oracle price. And if the real price drops, right, we have this difference between the oracle price and the real price. And when the oracle price gets updated, it might decrease so much that the position gets under-collateralized and creates bad debt in our system. So that's one risk, right? Creating bad debt. The other risk is now you have a race between liquidators and the borrowers, because the position is made liquidatable as soon as the oracle price drops. So it might not leave enough time to the borrower to supply collateral to save the position and not incur a liquidation penalty. So what we see here is suppliers suffer because the whole protocol might take on bad debt because of the price changed, which is too abrupt, and borrowers might not add collateral in time. So both sides are suffering from that problem. And I mean, because like I work in security and audits, you always think, can I make it worse? Can I exploit this, right? And actually, you can. If you manage to borrow before the oracle price update happens, you borrow at a higher rate than you should be able to. So here you would borrow 800 USD against one ETH, which here is priced at 1,000, but the real price is 500. So I already create a position that will be under collateralized. And now we can ask ourselves, can we like prevent this, right? And the obvious question is, can I just check that the price is stale? But the problem is, we don't know if the price is stale stale or just has not changed, right? And usually the Chainlink oracles have a heartbeat of 1 day, so you're not sure if it's a stale price or unchanged price. The other thing, which is, for example, used in AV3, is Chainlink L2 sequencer uptime feeds. Here you would use an oracle that tells you, is the sequencer up or down? But you would use it to say, did a sequencer downtime just happen? And if it happens, you can prevent, for example, borrows and liquidations for a grace period that allows, on one side, borrowers to add collateral, and that gives enough time for the price to update before any new borrows can be open. However, it's not really perfect, because like the update of that oracle must come in when the sequencer goes back up, and you're not guaranteed to be the first transaction that is processed when your sequencer goes back up. And there's some ways if you include your transactions through the inbox to actually raise this. I will not cover this, but if you want to talk about this with me later, you can come see me. And yeah, we can conclude here that actually lending markets have additional risks on L2, right? Because the assumptions of liveness don't fully hold. And uptime fee mitigation is also not perfect, because it's a hard problem. And I haven't found myself a perfect solution. And the last, key takeaway is liveness assumptions that hold on one chain might not hold on another. So even though you build a protocol that can be launched on every EVM chain, the chain underneath matters, and those properties actually really matter for security and safety of stablecoins, but also lending markets. Thank you very much.